Good morning, everybody. Daniel here. Just wanted to give you today's daily intake of divine inspiration I have for you. It comes all the way from 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 47. The Bible says, "And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." Now, I like to think about this, the story of David and Goliath and how David killed Goliath. But, I think about this as it relates to battles that are in our life. And, we face battles all the time. Each day in the Christian life is a battle. We wake up in the morning and we want to recognize that God, please be on the throne of my life today. The psalm says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. This should be our prayer for every day. Because it is a battle. Every day we're battling the flesh and the world and Satan. And so we've got battles in our life. But sometimes the battles are problems that we face. These battles are trials that we come across. And sometimes I think that we forget that the battle is the Lord's. And it's not ours. It's not our fight, it's His. And what happens all too often, you see, we wait until we try to take our battles on ourselves, and we try to handle it ourselves, and we fail. We fall flat on our face. Sometimes the battles, and we don't want to be like the children of Israel, where they went to Canaan, the promised land that God had given to that. God has promised them. We don't want to be like the 10 spies and come back with a bad report and say, well, there's just too many giants in the land, and we can't overtake them. I realize that there are some giants in your life. I realize that there are some giants in my life, and if you don't have a giant in your life, then you will soon. I'm sure of it. And what you don't want to do is be like David's brothers and cower in the tent in fear that you might lose, that you might not win, that you might die. That's what David's brothers did. And David had enough faith in the God that he knew that God was going to kill him. He knew that God was going to deliver Goliath into their hands. And he knew that. He had faith in God. His strength was in the Lord. It wasn't in himself. I'm sure that David was a pretty strong guy. But his strength was not dependent on what he could do. We need to remember that the weapons of warfare are not carnal, but are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. And we need to remember that the battle is the Lord's. And I think that sometimes we get to the point where we wait until we're so weak. We use up all our strength. And then it's at those times, then we want to get on our knees and start praying. Then we want to get on our knees and start asking God, begging God for His help, His intervention in our life. That is not the right thing to do. The Bible makes it clear. The Bible says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And we need to realize that there is an enemy out there. And we have a battle with him constantly. And the devil does not wait until we're strong. The devil doesn't attack us when we're strong, when we're constantly in our Bible, when we're constantly praying, when we're constantly soul winning like we should. Constantly have this heart for God that's on fire for the Lord. He waits until we're distracted. He waits until we're not focused on the right thing. He waits until our eyes are off of Jesus Christ and they're on other things. And things that may not necessarily be a sin, but they're pulling away from us serving the Lord. So they're distractions. And we get to the point where we're relaxed in our Christian life, in our walk with God. So what happens? We have this battle, and we become like David's brothers. When it comes to giants in your life, don't try to run from them. Don't try to avoid them. Don't try to ignore them. Those giants are going to come. But you know what you need to do? You have the faith and the courage of David. And say, I know that you're going to be delivered into our hands. Don't be a defeated Christian. Remember, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Remember, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So a battle you're going through, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's finances, maybe it's family, maybe it's just maybe it's you got lost family members, lost loved ones. Maybe it's somebody inside the church. Maybe it's something that took place years ago, and it's still a giant in your life. Listen, you need to understand that greater is He that is in you than he is in the world. The giant may be big in your life, but you know what? We serve a bigger God. We serve a bigger God than any of our problems. So don't tell God how big your problem is. Tell your problem how big God is. Just realize that in the eyes of God, everything's just little. Everything's just, it's not even important. So fight them. Face them head on. Don't run from them. We all got battles that we got to deal with. And don't let it defeat you, okay? That's the just encouraging word that I had for you today. I hope to do more of these daily intakes of divine inspiration. I'll have another one tomorrow, Lord willing. But thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.